Hello, everybody. Welcome, team. Thank you guys for being here. As you all know, I'm Beth Perez and the CEO of our homeless program here in South Florida. And we have with us today at the board meeting, Leslie, who's one of our case managers, Maureen, who's our financial advisor, and Bree, thank you so much as a community member to come in and let us know how the community is doing. So the reason why I brought you guys here today is because we actually just got offered $1 million grant, and we're looking to do something obviously for our program. And just to give you guys a little background, I know you guys are up to date already. In the current program, we are over capacity. We are over capacity. We have a wait list that we've had going for some time now, and it seems to consistently stay there. However, we understand that there's some families that are in immediate need, and we're also thinking about how we can teach these families long term how to obtain permanent housing. So what we've decided, or we're thinking with the staff, that we want to do with the $1 million is either we want to expand to reduce our waiting list size, or we're going to develop a new program slash service that will help our agency achieve higher success rates in moving current clients into permanent housing. Obviously, before we make that decision, this is a large amount, and I wanted to get you all's input, keeping in mind that our community does serve minority groups and individuals of color. We're also dealing with a lot of families. So just get you all's thoughts. I'd like to start off with Leslie, our case manager. Maybe you can provide some input on some of your thoughts on what direction to take.
Yes, definitely. What I'm seeing is just so much distress amongst the families. We're seeing families coming back after they leave. Sometimes as soon as 2 weeks to 30 days, they're back on the wait list and they're just desperate to get back into our housing program. So I'm definitely leaning towards a more permanent solution for our families. Especially our families with multiple children. It's very traumatic and difficult for these kids. They're getting moved in and out of these situations, meaning sometimes they're not even attending school. They're being displaced from schools, moved around from their friends and extended family. A lot of these families are very close with extended family, and we can't always provide them a location close to their network. And that means childcare may be disrupted. So there's just a lot going on, and it's heartbreaking to see the families. It seems like 30 to 90 days isn't enough. So that's what I'm seeing.
And thank you, Leslie. And I know since you work closely with the families, are you seeing that some of these families are also coming back into the program?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're coming back within a month or less. Many of them are not ready to leave. They're just not equipped. They don't even always, they have no money saved up to pay deposits to get into another housing situation. Um, Oftentimes they move into a multi-family dwelling, meaning there's an extended family, sometimes 3 generations or more, living under one roof in very difficult circumstances before we can get them back in. So yes, we're seeing all of that.
So it almost feels like we're not moving forward in any progression or progressive way. Thank you, Leslie. So I'm gonna like to hear next from our community member, Bree, so you can let us know kind of what your thoughts are on the topic.
Good morning and thank you for having me. First, I'd like to thank you guys for deciding to start a new program for the community. I think it would be very beneficial to the members of the community, especially the homeless population. I do see a lot of um, homeless people throughout the community on a daily basis, especially near the bridge on 24th, where there's a lot of traffic. So my biggest concern is, the safety of those citizens. Trying to think of something.
Yeah, I agree. And I appreciate you also looking at the criminal justice aspect of it too, because we're looking at crime rates in the community. And,
Right.
if people are homeless and they're going to be willing to do any and everything to protect their families or to survive. So thank you for giving us the eyes on the community. Also, the need for education, I would say as well. I know we're dealing with a lot of individuals that their native tongue is not English. Therefore, maybe providing educational programs and services
Right.
also be beneficial in that. So thank you, Bree, for providing us with that insight on the community and the need for not just the safety of our homeless population, but of our other citizens in the community.
I did have a few questions pertaining to the new program.
Sure.
What kind of services would be provided for the homeless, and how long would services be provided?
Well, as we're brainstorming that right now, and we're all kind of agreeing on doing this we're agreeing on the second part. We're agreeing on doing a service and a program. I first want to get maybe some better idea from our financial person to see what really we can do and where we can allocate those funds. So thank you for that question. Let's see if Maureen can provide us a little more guidance on ideas for that. Maureen?
Hey guys, so I found out about this grant, a couple of days ago, so I was able to kind of, do some research and draw up some information. Yes, of course, expanding would be great. I think a more radical approach would be a completely new, different program and design, for our needs in our community. So I have both, but I'm gonna discuss the new program because I think that's what we're discussing here today. With the $1 million grant, obviously it's not enough, but it's a very good start. A very good start where we can, implement a new program design and the initial setup. We're obviously going to need our staffing and operational cost. Within the staffing operational cost, we're looking at hiring case management of like 2 full-time case managers, at least 2. Even a job placement specialist that can help people get interviews, secure partnerships, within the community, help with resumes and stuff like that, applications or interview prep. Another great thing that we can actually also incorporate into that is some education as far as like financial literacy, preparing these families, and equipping them with the information that they need, the education they need to be able to sustain themselves. So we're setting them up for success. Also, we have direct client assistance, right? And housing support. So rental assistance, move-in support, having security of deposits available for them, or even providing like short-term rent subsidies, so they can get their footing and they can, be established, so they can remain where they are. Also, including in that would be outreach, right? So partnering with different people in the community, different organizations, investing in like community awareness and stuff like that. We're definitely going to need more money. So we're going to have to hire someone, for grant writing, or any like future funding. And we're going to obviously have our administrative costs. But this is definitely going to help us provide housing stability starting from the bottom, like helping them not only with the case management, with education, with a good start, right? With rent subsidies, even groceries, or even things that come up that are emergencies, right? Like a death in the family or a sickness and stuff like that. What are the things that usually completely, dysregulate families? What are those things? And it's usually health related or bills related or debt related. So that's the downfall. So we're trying to prevent that, right? And have these services available for the community, to educate them and really help them prevent these shifts in their either in their budget or, their health and stuff like that. So we have a good breakdown. I think with $1 million, we have, as of right now, what I was able to, calculate, it's a good start. We have 15% going towards program design, at least 40% going into staffing, which is the most, obviously, and operational cost. About 30% of that money would be towards direct client assistance and housing support. And the last 15% would be for program evaluation, outreach, sustainability, making sure that we have enough to for grant writing and get extra funding and stuff like that to keep this program going. So can it be done? Absolutely. We just have to move in a smart way, and yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. So, Bree and Leslie, as you all can see, we have already some program ideas. I was also thinking, Maureen, as you were talking, that we currently have a grant writer in the nonprofit. We can just educate them on the new grant money. We also have volunteers, and we also have other staffing that we can kind of move around so that that 40% for employment doesn't have to go into the full 40, and we can allocate other funds into other places. However, do you all agree that doing the service and new program is the best option to utilize our $1 million? All in favor say yay.
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 Yeah, and I just think in light of serving social justice for our community, our organization wants to provide as much benefit to everyone as possible. And this really allows us to get people who are currently using the service into more permanent homes, which will allow for more people who need the short-term relief to come in. So it seems like we would be able to serve more people by taking this grant money and putting it into a more permanent housing solution for some. So I love it.
Thank you for
I'd like to piggyback on what she said about social justice. In reference to the homeless shelter, is there like a specific requirement that they must meet, or is that available to every homeless person or every homeless family? Like, is there like a fine line, or is there like certain requirements that everyone has to meet? Eligibility standards?
We will probably come up with eligibility standards as the program is fully developed further on. Definitely. But thank you guys. Great questions. And I think the meeting is adjourned. We've decided that we're going to go to utilize the $1 million into new service programming for longer, more permanent housing. Thank you guys. And we will move forward with that in our next meeting.